Greetings, friends and neighbors. Stan here for another hour or so of improv cartooning and another episode of Random Encounters. Thank you for joining me. Uh, I'm looking forward, as I always am, to finding out what the dice are going to choose for me to draw, and hopefully coming up with something amusing for both me and you. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, maybe I think I just explained it. I have a list of uh, random topics, and we randomly choose a, a sign who what goes with what, and then I draw it, and it's fun. I mean, I know it's fun for me, and I hope that it's fun for all of you. I just realized that despite the fact that I was sitting around here waiting for this to go, I never turned on my light. Hello, Dale. Hello, Marcus. Thank you all for joining me. I'm glad you could be here. You ever notice when you're gonna do live streaming that you you're ready, you know what's happening later in the day. You get set, you get prepped, and then it comes right up to it, and the last 5 minutes you think of, oh my goodness, why didn't I do this one thing? And you get it done, you get ready, and then you start, and you realize you didn't turn your light on, or some other little thing goes wrong. It's the beauty of live radio, as they say. Anyway, hello, Cindy. Glad you're there, presumably on the couch, joining us too. Um, so enough of that. Enough of that. Enough of my musings and meanderings and whining and fetching. Let's get into it. Let's do some drawing. I invite you, as I always do, to draw along with me if you'd like. I'm going to pull up, like I said, random topics. You don't have to draw the same thing I'm doing, and you certainly don't need to do it as quickly as I do it. One of the main things that I'm hoping to encourage with the show is the idea that drawing is just a fun thing to do, just for its own sake. So come on and draw with me. And if you like it, if you're pleased, if you want to show off, you can send a copy to me, and I will show it to folks next time we come around. Could make you famous in a very small circle. Hello, Linnea. Thank you. And however many of the other lemons are there watching for coming. All right, enough of this. Enough of that. Enough of everything except our random encounter tables for the evening. So we've got a table of who's, all of which are D&D type characters, Dungeons and Dragons type characters. We've got a table of what's, all of which are summer fun themed, since we're still in the midst of the summer and we want this to be fun. And we're now going to come over and go to my die roller here, and we're going to roll the dice once, twice, third time. One. Our first who is a beholder. Okay, that has promise. Now, what is the beholder going to be doing? Once, twice, third time. Two. We're getting low numbers today. Two is a beholder at an ice cream truck. Okay. Okay. Well, let's. I'm going to turn off the tables, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right color here with the right brush, and let's get going. Drawing beholder at an ice cream truck. Susan Berger, thank you. Hi from South Florida. Well, hi to South Florida. Hi from Seattle. All right, so a beholder, for those of you who don't know, is a big creature with the big spherical creature that floats around and has a lot of eyes. And we're going to need an ice cream truck. So no matter what happens, we're going to need an ice cream truck. Let's just kind of block in an ice cream truck. And we'll block that in there. A big area here for that now, I guess I left myself an opening here. It could either be the beholder working the ice cream truck or the beholder getting something from the ice cream truck. Does anyone have any thoughts on what might be funny? Oh, listen to that. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a very loud helicopter passing over nearby. I'm in a flight path for several local airports, including some military uh, bases. So every once in a while, we get these very loud helicopters going over. Uh, Ice cream float. Carrie, that's funny. That's funny. In fact, I think that's it. That's what we're going with. All right, so I've put the truck in there, but some of it's not going to show. I guess. Hmm. He mused. Having put that in, I'm going to clear this. I'm going to clear this layer here and go from start again. Now we got it. Okay, now we're going to have a beholder, and we only need to see this much of the ice cream truck. We will understand that it's an ice cream truck. All right, that ought to do. And having blocked that in, I guess I'm gonna trying to figure out right now why is nothing happening because I'm moving. So when I put my brush, my Apple Pencil. For those of you who don't know, I'm using an iPad Pro with the Procreate app and the iPad Pencil. And when I put it down and move it on the page, you can see something appear on screen. But if I just kind of wave it around, you ever watch any artist do something? They'll often just kind of wave their brush or their pencil right over the page as they're thinking about it. If I do that, nothing shows up. And I was just sitting here thinking and waving it over the page a few times, and I realize that is just looking like nothing's happening to you guys. All right. Let's go to a new layer so I can leave these blue pencils behind when I'm done. And let's start by putting in some lines. This beholder is very happy because who isn't happy when they're getting ice cream? She still is a horrible monster with big fangs, but that's not his fault. And drawn a lot of beholders in my time, so feeling pretty comfortable with some of this. Beholders have one big central eye and 10 eye stalks that come off the top of their head that look in various directions, all of which have different magical properties. That's part of the Dungeons and Dragons interpretation. It rarely comes into cartoons about them because I'm not going to be drawing lots of different things going on here, but in a game of D&D, each one of these eye stalks could do a different magical thing. If I come here and put the shape on them and just give these thick lines, it gives them the appearance of being in the background. I know we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The nice thing about doing drawings like this is, as long as I don't get too many eye stalks, there's a pretty good explanation of, well, the other 3 are on the far side of the beholder, and you just can't see them. All I need to make sure is that I don't do too many. Because once there's an 11th eye stalk, well, there's no explanation for that other than making something up. Making something up. I guess the whole thing is making something up. Anyway, so there we got our beholder. Over here, we got our poor guy at the ice cream truck. I imagine he's some poor kid who's just trying to make some money for college, running the ice cream truck. And use the brush a little lighter down at this end so that I can put some details in, but they don't really matter. And, oops. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this app lets me draw a loose line and then it immediately snaps it to a straight line. So I can get a long straight line that does what I want it to. And we can get the appearance of a little overhang. Why would I do all that? I'm going to put text over that in a second, aren't I? All right, so that I think is the bulk of the line drawing, I'm going to turn off the sketch layer underneath. I'm going to take this, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to grab this whole layer. I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit. Then come back and add some more around the edges so that I have room to put our word balloon up. Carrie has sent me a message in Japanese that says good evening. Konbanwa to you too, Carrie. Carrie, my good friend there, just returned from a trip to Japan. I'm a little more than a little jealous about that. They had a very good time. If his communications with me, he sent me some texts while they were over there and some photos. Looked like it was a great time was had by all. For those of you who do not know, because not everyone here is a longtime friend of me, like Carrie or Dale, lived in Japan for 5 years back in the 1990s, and still am very fond of the country and a lot of the things you can find there. And so I find it nostalgic when my friends go back and get to see things that I miss, and if I can help in any way to make their trips better, I do what I can. All right, there we go. Now we're going to turn back on that blue for a second. Not because I care about what looks down there, but so I can pencil in the line. I do that on the wrong level? I did that on the wrong level. Get rid of those. I turned on the blue so I could see it, but then I kept drawing on the lines layer. Alright, that tells me that I need to lower this a little more, because I was covering up more of the... There we go. I was covering up more of the truck than I wanted. Alright, let's go back again. Sketch layer, and he's going to be saying... Give me I scream float. Now, beholders are very smart, but I figure this guy just must be very excited. My personal take, I don't think beholders usually would. They would usually use pretty spotless grammar. This guy. No, you know what? Let's go back down. Give me, now I want larger letters. One of the things you do when you're doing cartoons, you got to figure out which words need extra stress and how to give it to them. All right. Give me an ice cream float. Now I'm going to turn the blue layer off, and let's put some quick color into this just to wrap it up. Shall we? And then I can see a bunch of things have been going on in the chat while I had my head down. I'll have to check back in there and see what you folks have been saying. Again, I use this brush called Gloaming, which gives me a oh, look at that. Make sure I'm on the colors layer. I will now finish that sentence I started. It gives me kind of a markerish, crayonish effect, which I think goes well with these quickly done drawings that we do here on Random Encounters. Also, I was saying this morning, I was a guest on a podcast this morning. I was saying that as long as it's got that crayonish feel, people are much more willing just to accept what otherwise might be seen as sloppy coloring. Didn't fill everything in. You went over some of the lines. Things are blending where they shouldn't. And all that's true, but when you see it and you interpret the colors having been done by a crayon or a marker, you're just more accepting of that. Now we're going to come here. I want the background inside the truck to have. A lot of times you just leave, I just leave spaces white, but to give the feeling that this is an ice cream truck and he's standing inside it. It's important to add a little color there. Okay, and now the rest of this, let's give some quick colors to the ice cream truck. Like so. Come back because I missed a little green there. And now I want to come back here and just add a little bit. No, it's maybe a little too dark. There we go. Little bit of shading to give that three-dimensional look to it. Nothing that's too accurate, really, but have a rough idea where it is. Just kind of give the beholder a little extra shape. And maybe do the same thing for our guy here. Okay. And we've got, oh, maybe we'll give his word balloon just to emphasize that he's got a monstrous voice. Give me an ice cream float. And I'm going to come back, put my thing at this. One of the things I want to do here is add, go back, make sure I get the right brush. I want to add some little lines down here to emphasize the fact that the beholder is, in fact, floating, because it helps sell the gag. Right? He wants an ice cream float. Huh? Huh? Yeah, that's right. All right, and I'm going to come in here. Good. All right, that's looking good. I'm going to put my little stand down here at the bottom. And our first drawing of the day, we've got a beholder and an ice cream truck. Not bad. I like how that's looking. Let's take a tiny little break and see what's going on here in the chat section. Perfect for summer, konbanwa, I read all that. Ice cream could drop on the floor. I thought, you know what, Marcus, I thought about that. When I put the ice cream truck on the list, various different ideas of things to do with monsters dropping their ice cream. And when this came up, I was thinking along those lines until I saw Carrie's ice cream float suggestion, and then that just, I couldn't resist. That had to be it. Okay, there we go. Looking good, Linnea. So fast. Well, that's what I say. I may not be the best, but I sure am fast. Okay, so that's drawing number one. Let's do another drawing, shall we? Turn off round one, turn back on our tables, and go. I'm going to take a sip of my drink first. And we'll go and do another random selection for another drawing. So let's see. Once, twice, and third time. 6? Okay, 6 I know is adventurers. I'm not even going to go look it up. I know it. What are the adventurers doing? Once, twice, one. Whoa. Time out. I'm not looking. Let's do that again. Once, twice, third time. 2 is ice cream truck. We already had ice cream truck. So I'm going to leave this open for you guys to help me out here. We could take any of the others that are up there in the what. We could go to the bonus board and pick one of those bonus board ideas. Or if you guys have something that you think you'd like to see me draw, throw it up there. Maybe like Carrie, you'll just throw something that I feel inspires the heck out of me, and I got to do it. But we're going to have some kind of D&D adventurers doing something. How more random can you get? Behind the beholder. That's a funny idea. Carrie says, place him behind the beholder in line with weapons drawn because he's taking too long. That's a funny idea. I'm not going to say no to that, but I'm going to say my first inclination is that would eat up all of the rest of the time, and I still wouldn't be happy with how it came out. But it does sound like a drawing I want to do. So, I need to remember to add a context in the comments. Or not. So, what do we got? Adventurers. We could have them. I don't know. Carrie, I do like that idea, but I think it's a little too complicated for what I'm trying to pull off here. All the stuff that's in the what category is stuff that I've picked because I think that it would it amuses me to do something like that. But I really like the give and take when we get to interact as an audience. You guys throw me something that I never even thought of at all. So I'm gonna vamp here for a couple of seconds. I know we got 5 or 7. It keeps flicking up there. People watching here. If you have any ideas, just type them in there. It doesn't hurt if I don't take them, and if I do, you feel so proud. Like Kerry just did. Look at that smile he typed in the comment. That's a big, broad smile. He's happy I used his idea. Let's see. Adventurers. Um, tell you, I'm looking and I'm thinking if no one else says anything, I may go uh, with the UFO encounter. I've had that up there on the bonus board for a while, and I keep thinking that'd be a fun thing. What? Oh, Dale has riding in a dune adventures in a dune buggy. Ooh. Carrie says a group of adventurers stopping into a regular store like Home Depot. We always get dangerous assignments when he goes to pubs. We thought we'd try this. That's it's a little meta. Not again, not more like I want to develop that idea. That seems like if I ever do a show where I take, just kind of, I've got notebooks full of rough cartoon ideas and develop them. That's the kind of thing that I've got in my notebook. I don't think that what you got there, Kerry, is it, but there is. I think in fact, both the things you've given, there are nuggets there that are worth developing. That's not this show. Um, Kerry knows I'm kidding him. The Dune buggy is sounding kind of funny. Um, it's been a long time since I drew a Dune buggy. All right. Barring someone else coming up with something else, while I ponder and vamp and install here for a second, uh, I think I may go with the dune buggy idea because it's also very summery. And I took all the other beach ideas off the list. Oh no, sandcastles down there. Wouldn't that just be funny? All right. Cthulhu in a UFO at a wedding. Roger, you're too much. No, seriously, too much. All right, so trying to remember. I'll tell you the truth. When I think about dune buggies, the first thing I'm thinking about is Speed Buggy, the cartoon from the 70s. All right, so we got roughly. That's a dune buggy. I loved Speed Buggy. I don't know why. Going back and looking at it, there's not a lot to love. Maybe I just loved the Mel Blanc did the voice for that as he did for so many cartoons, and maybe I just love the. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. I I thought that was amusing. All right, so that's a rough layout for a dune buggy. Of course, that dune buggy is just standing there. Uh, so we need it to be at a jaunty angle because it's racing around. Okay. So it's going to be coming up off the dunes like that. And we're going to have this. You know what? I think in the end, this may wind up being a two a 2 drawing day because I'm going to put a bunch of detail into this if we're going to get it funny. We'll see. I like doing 3 drawings a day. Woohoo! Says whoever is driving. Someone's coming up out of the back seat. Someone's in the seat next to him in the front. Maybe standing up. The big grin on their face. I think that we're going to have the fighter, so he can not just have his fist in the air, he's got his sword in the air. Some kind of long-eared elf there. There we go. Maybe it's not a foursome, but a threesome. Just because we've run out of space to easily put them in. Alright, maybe this won't take as long as I was afraid. There we go. Should have worn the seatbelt, says Leo. Absolutely. Wacky Races stand style. I'd love that cartoon too. Steve Miller. Hey! Thanks for showing up, Steve. Alright, now this gets a little complicated when I'm putting the lines down. I often say, in fact, I always say, you should start with the lines that you are confident in, so that you don't wind up having to erase too much. But it's harder when there's this much complicated stuff going on to be sure what you're gonna be able to keep, because anything I put in here might have to change just because of where the dune buggy apparatuses need to go. All right, here we go. We're starting with our fighter. Or maybe, I guess the way he's acting, maybe he's even a barbarian. Stupid barbarians. All right. I guess here's where I'm for sure going to find out what I need to erase. So we do that. That's going to be the top of the windscreen for the dune buggy. Have to erase those lines there. Okay. Woo, feeling a little better about that. Hmm. So we can leave a bunch of that for color to put the details in. That's the nice thing about knowing that I'm going to do it in color. I can not worry about shadows. And one of the things you may notice if you look at enough of my drawings is I tend to do almost all my drawings as if they were coloring books. And I don't put a lot of shadows on my characters. And you know that you see a lot of newspaper style comic strips which will do similar things. It's just not. It doesn't. There's not enough payback in it in putting those kinds of details on it. You've already got characters that are made of very geometric shapes. They don't really exist in a particularly 3D world. And you put shadows in when they are effective and they add something. But if there's no need for them, you can overlook them and the audience is not going to freak out over that. All right. Here we go. I'm not going to put that in because we're going to see through part of that. All right, so let's move over to our elf, Mark Monlux. Hey, Mark Monlux, thanks for joining us. Mark says nothing as fun as drawing a dune buggy. I suppose, riding in a dune buggy may be more fun than drawing a dune buggy, but it's a near thing. All right, we're going to come in here and we're going to put the hair flying backwards, flying in the wind. The elf's hair, my friend, is flying in the wind. The elf's hair is flying in the wind. Don't. No, YouTube don't. I wasn't stealing someone else's music. I wasn't using copyrighted music. It was, it was sarcasm. It was a spoof. Please don't shut down my don't shut down my channel. Here again, I'm gonna have to erase part of that so I can put. That elf's bare midriff Again, it's summer. You're in a dune buggy. You got to dress for the fun. And let's see. We're going to come back here. I'm going to draw the rear seat. I guess we need to draw the front seat too. And they're bouncing out of the back seat. There's a little halfling. I think we're going to put him behind the roll bar back here, so I got to put in the roll bar. Give him cut off shirt and cut off shorts. With hairy feet. Yeah, he's not happy about that. And let's come back in here and finish off the wheels. Tell you, on the whole, I'm kind of pleased with how this dune buggy has turned out, considering that I haven't really thought particularly hard or drawn a dune buggy in years. So I haven't drawn one in years, and I haven't seen a speed buggy cartoon in even longer. There we go. Let's turn off those sketch lines and see how it's looking here. It's looking pretty good. It'll look even better when we add some color into it. We still need to have a back end of the dune buggy back here. Gonna add a few lines here and there just to fill out the design, make it a little clearer what we're looking at line wise. Like so. All right, let's come in here and go to the color section and switch brushes and add some quick colors to this. What do you think? It doesn't really matter. I ask because I'm a nice guy. And I think that in honor of Speed Buggy, we will make this an orange, a brighter orange than that. An orange Dune Buggy. All right. Gonna, rather than wait till the end, I'll put in some of this shading early. Wow, it's coming out better than I thought it would. It'll save us a little coloring time by putting in uh, clear white with blue reflections on the glass. Make sure I get the furry feet for the halfling. And some blonde hair for both the the Tolkien elf lovers and the uh, Beach Boys. So it's back there. Look at that. That there, that's a dune buggy. Woohoo! Mm, the size of the pen. Too dark. Too dark. There we go. That's the right kind of dark. Again, we'll just add a little bit of highlighting here and there. We zoom in a little, just a little bit, to help create that sense of depth. And by giving it a slightly different color to these shadows, make them seem like their skin tones are a little different. Not sure what I want to do about her, because we want her to definitely have that elven glow. Wrong green. Come back in and grab a little bit of that orange and put it in our speed lines. And we have got, oh, just one more thing come in. Again, add a little blue to the sky back here. We've got some adventurers riding a dune buggy. Woohoo! Oh, thank you, Roger. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I'll see you next Thursday. Probably see you on Sunday at the online freelance Fandango gathering. And for those of you who enjoy chatting with cartoonists and other graphic artists, the Graphic Artists Guild hosts a weekly online gathering Sunday mornings Pacific time uh, called the Freelance Fandango. If you're watching on Facebook, you can look it up there. They've got a page. The Graphic Artists Guild has a an Evite to the event. It's done through Zoom, and we sit around and just kind of hang out and talk shop, answer questions to people who show up, who have them, or share art we've been working on, get input from the group. It's a fun time. I highly encourage you to look it up. All right, so there we go. We've got adventurers in a dune buggy for drawing number 2. Yeah. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll take it home for the week. So, oh, you know what? One of the things I do want to do, I want to drop the opacity on these colors. Just drop it back a little bit. Just, yeah, 10 or 15%. Let me look at that first one again. Yeah, I want to do that there too. Just take those colors and drop them back a little bit, maybe even more here. That's a 20%. If I go 25, is that too much? That's too much. Right around 20%. So it makes them not quite so intense. I have this thing where I pick my colors and I think they're exactly the right colors, and I finish the drawing and I look up and I'm like, you know what? Those are they're just stronger. I think I I tone them back in my head, and then when I'm done, I've got to do something to kind of soften them up a little bit sometimes. All right, so that's 2. We've got our beholder at the ice cream truck, and we've got adventures in a dune buggy, and we're gonna do one more. Tables on. Hold it. Time out. Feeling a little parched. Let me get a little sip. Very good, very good. All right, one more random encounter for the week. Let's see what we got. What do the dice want us to draw this time? 1, 2, 3. 3. And 3 is a myconid, which is a mushroom creature. And what did the dice want that mushroom creature to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is blowing bubbles. Aww. A myconid blowing bubbles. Okay, well, there's not a ton of funny in that. That doesn't mean we won't have fun with it. Just doesn't, off the top of my head, lend itself to um, an obvious gag. Unless the bubbles are mushroom shaped. That might be the gag. Okay. Just give myself a little open path. I don't want the bubbles to go on. Okay. Myconid's blowing bubbles. I have a parent myconid and a child myconid. And a bunch of bubbles. So relaxing Sunday, kind of like I was just talking about for the Graphic Artist Guild. This is a relaxing mushroom Sunday. And he's just kind of sitting there. I suppose somewhere you ought to have a bowl of bubble. Tell you what I'm going to do though. I'm not going to. I'm going to play some color tricks on this one. So we're just going to start by drawing just the myconids, and we'll get to the bubbles in a bit. And we'll come here. He'll be more of a toadstool. There in the background, we're going to have some other just mushrooms. Not all, not all mushrooms are myconids. The myconids live in mushroom forests. They are sentient funguses among non-sentient funguses. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to start by going. Oh, I just did all that on the wrong layer again. I hate when I do that. I forgot to switch layers. So on the previous two where I could turn the blue off and only the black lines would be left. Well, this time I drew those black lines on the same layer with the blue. So they're stuck together because I'm not going back and redoing that. Oh well. Which changes this around. Because no matter, you know what? Here I'm gonna fill these all in and then just cover over them or erase some of it. It'll be easier that way. Yeah, no matter what, you're gonna see the blue lines through this, and maybe this being a drawing about a bunch of mushroom people blowing bubbles, maybe that's fitting. I don't know. I'll leave you to decide that. It's just a little trippy. It does disappoint me when I make mistakes like that, but we all make mistakes like that. When I'm drawing when this happens while I'm doing a piece of art for a for publication somewhere, I have no choice but to go back and redo the line drawings because you gotta you gotta get it right. But when I'm doing it just for fun, well then, I can just accept the mistake and move on. And again, the fact that this is all just for fun helps a lot too. These drawings are supposed to be light and quick and just for entertainment value. So it doesn't really matter. It's like I don't care in my sketchbook that you can see all these little scritchy layout lines because that's what it looks like in a sketchbook. Same kind of thing here. Hmm. There we go. Now, what I was going to do, I'm going to do anyway, here is I'm going to do the um, I'm going to do the bubbles all kind of drawn in blue. Trying to find the right color for the lines. Nope. Nope. That's getting closer. This is how it works when you're. There you go. When you're doing cartooning and actually any kind of art, you get an idea in your head of what maybe it should look like, and you you then spend time trying to figure out how to make it, how to bring it to life. Right? I can look at these and go, no, that's not what I had in mind. Now here, this is one of the little uh, niceties of using the Procreate app. Like with I was showing you with the straight lines before, that if I use the app a certain way, it would take a semi-straight line and turn it into a real straight line. I can do it here where I do something that's roughly a circle and it will turn it into either just a smooth uh, ovoid of some kind or a perfect circle. And that's what I want to do here. Like here, I want to make that an even, a straight curve. So I just hold it and it takes it from being a little wobbly to being smooth. Whereas if that would make it on the path of a perfect circle. I don't want that. No. Sometimes it doesn't recognize a circle and it turns it into a multi-angled thing, polygon. There we go. And then I'll come back down to the colors layer, and we're going to come back and make this, fill these in with blue, bubble blue. Then just kind of extra rounded off shapes to give the idea that these are spheres. There we go. And we've got myconids blowing bubbles. Go back to that sketch layer, and I'm going to put my little stand on there. And I'm going to wish that I had remembered not to draw on the sketch layer, because this turns out to be a pretty good drawing. I like it. There we go. We got myconids blowing bubbles. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. And that's going to wrap it up for today. We've had 3 very nice summertime random drawings. We had myconids blowing bubbles. We had adventures in a dune buggy. And we had a beholder at the ice cream truck. Yeah, that's a pretty good uh, collection for an hour here. Thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you. I'm gonna scroll back through here and hope I don't forget too many people. Thank you, Dale and Roger, Mark and Leo, Steve Miller, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. Lots of really good ideas. Carrie, you were on fire this time. I may make some use of some of those other ideas that we didn't have here. I'm just seeing your suggestion for surfing. Surfing would have been okay too. Um, Linnea and company. Of course, Dale and Cindy. Marcus was here for a while. Susan showed up. It was a lot of good folks. I noticed that in the chat, the counter that I can see that we had a bunch of people who were also here and not speaking up, which is fine. Just hang out, enjoy the drawings, and have some fun. That's what it's all about. I will be back next week for another hour plus of improv cartooning. In the meanwhile, if you, like Carrie, are interested in Japanese things, tomorrow evening we'll have another episode of the sumo show where I and my friend Troy talk about the goings on in the world of professional sumo wrestling. This is not a joke. This is not a euphemism. It's another passion of mine. They don't always go together, except in here. Uh, Meanwhile, while you're here, if you could please give a like or a thumbs up or whatever to the video we're watching, that helps me with the algorithm to help find some other people that enjoy this kind of things. Lets the sites know that people enjoy this and it's the kind of thing they should share around. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. That also is helpful to me. Uh, you can find me um, uh, on Instagram. I will be posting these pictures on my Facebook feed and on my Instagram feed. I put just about everything that goes public will wind up on Instagram eventually, and it'll stay there as long as things do on Instagram, which is not always very long. But if you really want to be sure you don't miss anything I do, then you may want to consider coming over and joining my Patreon community. The little Patreon community, and all the folks there, I send them emails with high res versions of all the drawings that I do and release publicly. That's you know that's a minimum of what you get out of it. At some layers, I do things like send out personal greetings or send out stickers, like physical stickers. There's the topmost group there. I send the stickers uh, 5 times a year, 4 or 5 times a year. It's 5 times a year, 4 times a year plus Christmas, so it's 5 times a year. And so it's New Year's. Don't If you know, you know. They're New Year's stickers. Um, so yeah, I would love to have you over there. It certainly helps me. I'm trying to make more of my time uh, spent doing this kind of thing, but in order to do that, I need to get revenue generated. I don't do a hard push on this. You're fine. Keep coming to Instagram. Keep coming here. I'll keep giving all the stuff out because I want to share it with the world. But if you want to support what I'm doing, that's a very good way to do it. In the meanwhile, I will say goodnight to you all. Have a good week. Thank you for coming again. And I will be back next week with more improv cartooning. Till then, good night, everyone.